Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, St. Louis. My name is Brian Curran, local guitarist and singer here in St. Louis, Missouri, residing on the south side of St. Louis. It's been weird. I mean, the last time I played with my group, I have a band called the Dust Covers. We're a three-piece acoustic group. Was, I want to say, March 16th or March 14th, whatever day we were supposed to have the parade day for St. Patrick's Day. We had 2 gigs that day, and pretty much Sunday morning, Monday, everything was gone. You know, I mean, all the restaurants were shutting down, venues were shutting down. So it's been weird. Haven't played with the group yet. I've done some solo work on and off, outdoor stuff. But yeah, it's been really weird. Practice now has been much more enjoyable, whereas I think before all this, it was more of, I need to learn this for this event. I need to learn this for this band job. I need to learn that. You know, it's more, a little more pressure oriented, I guess. And through this has been a little bit more kind of just for me. What do I want to do? What skills do I want to improve when I have the time to do it? During this time period, you know, as far as like business oriented, it's pretty much lessons in online streaming is what I got going on right now. You know, luckily a fair amount of my students have continued doing like Zoom or Skype or whatever, so that's been good. That helps. It certainly doesn't pay the bills, but it helps, you know. And I've been doing, like I said, some live lessons on Facebook too. The only problem with online stuff, it has its advantages and disadvantages. I think the advantage for the student is it's on their own time. They don't have a commute. They don't have to worry about, you know, an hour lesson becomes an hour lesson when you're at home, as opposed to, for some students, it may be a 30-minute commute to come to my home. The main disadvantage is that lag time, that second and a half or blink of an eye, where you really can't really sit down and jam together. So everything's call and response. And again, that has a positive and a negative. The negative is you don't get that interaction, but the positive, it becomes very clear to the student. Here's the line, here's the chord, here's the strum. Now you know, listen to me, now you, now me, now you. So there's this really nice back and forth, but you do lose that let's jam a blues or whatever kind of feel. So right off the bat, there's a ton of musicians in St. Louis that are full-time. You know, I could probably name half a dozen in a second that do this for strictly for a living. There's a few organizations, namely the Blues Society has been just outstanding on helping musicians, both full-time and part-time too. And KDHX is helping with, you know, new formats for advertising, you know, online performances and things like that. So it's been wonderful. I couldn't ask to be in a better town. I always say that St. Louis is the best. But I got to tell you, through this pandemic, whatever you want to call it, it's really, you know, making that statement truer and truer every day. And I would say to somebody right now that is just starting out during the pandemic or has just started prior to all this, one is, if you can find somebody to do online person-to-person lessons, it's going to be hugely beneficial to you. And second to teaching yourself is, remember one thing, it's not hard. To learn anything, it's not hard. All you need to do is put in the time and the effort. And number 2, no matter what level you are, you have something to offer musically. If you're learning an instrument, guitar, it doesn't even whether it's guitar or not. To me, it's same as doing a watercolor or a sculpture, and you're just starting out. You still have something to offer. And by keeping that in your mind, even though, hey, I might only know 2 chords, but what can you offer with those 2 chords? You have something you can offer with those 2 chords or that one scale or whatever. Keep those things in mind, and I think that helps you along the road if you don't have anybody there personally to do that for you, know, to help you personally. So.